Has the pandemic changed education forever? Following an article I saw on LinkedIn earlier where there was discussion about the difference between distance learning and homeschooling, I did feel that this was a topic that is of interest to parents throughout the country as a result of this last year where so many parents have had their children distance learning at home as a result of this terrible pandemic. Whereas remote learning is literally being part of a school environment and conducting your lessons via Zoom meetings, for example, homeschooling, which has become so big in this country, is literally children being totally cut off from mainstream education and partaking in a structured home education system. My feeling is that it should not be either or, but rather a fusion of both. What is important is what is best for the children and as a family unit as a whole. Over the last year, many people and their companies have realised that so much of the population can work remotely just as efficiently, if not more efficiently, than if they were to actually travel to a place of work. And it is only natural to look at the options for children to be able to follow suit. This will gain valuable and precious parent-child time, but also there are certain hidden factors, which is the learning that is available to the children. There are many children who struggle with a mainstream classroom environment. I know I certainly did, and if I were at school in the present day, I'm sure that they would have diagnosed me as ADHD in a flash and I would have been prescribed Ritalin or something or other. But it was actually not until many years after I left school, when I was fortunate enough to enter a progressive action learning master's degree, that I realised that it was not me. It was my compatibility with mainstream education at the time, which cost me dearly in my ability to learn. If we look at Kolb's learning styles, which came out in 1984, there are 4 basic fundamental learning styles that people can fall into or in between. Concrete experience, feeling, reflective observation, watching, abstract conceptualization, thinking, active experimentation, doing. The key points to note here are that firstly, it is of paramount importance to establish the learning style of each and every child, and more importantly, to ensure that the education system can cater for every learning style and not make children who do not fit in with traditional learning feel that they are in any way inadequate, because they are not. It is the system itself that is inadequate. And as we have seen over the last year, more and more people are looking at alternatives to the constraints of mainstream education, and I do feel that it is time that mainstream education evolved to fit in with this evolution of our society and our lifestyle that has accelerated so much over the last year. This should not be about our personal preference, be it politically, be it through tradition, be it cultural. It should be about what will benefit the children academically, intellectually, emotionally, psychologically, and logistically by allowing them to spend more time as a family unit. In 1989, an Indian computer scientist by the name of Sugata Mitra conducted a learning experiment called the Hole in the Wall project. He installed computers into walls in remote villages in India where children had no access to education. He left them to it, walked away, and came back sometimes 2 or 3 months later. The results of his research were amazing, because these children not only figured out how to learn, but began to discuss and learn from each other or to teach each other. And when he came over to the UK and spent some time in Gateshead, his group who were learning his way not only equaled the result of children who were taught in a mainstream environment, but occasionally exceeded them. I'm posting the link to that video below. I would strongly urge you to watch this video because when it was released 10 years ago on TED Talks, it actually blew me away. So why am I making this video? Well, over the last year, more and more parents have begun to consider the notion of moving to a remote place that they would not have considered moving to previously. And education plays a big factor in that with their children, of course. Because it is a topic that interests me, it seems to be the most common topic that I discuss with my clients over the last few months. And I feel that this topic may be relevant to those of you who are watching. If you would like to know any further, if you would like me to point you in the direction to get more information about homeschooling or anything that I've said, please feel free to contact me at any time. I'd love to hear your thoughts about this. It's a topic that I feel passionately about. So whether you agree with me or totally disagree, that's absolutely fine. It's not the criticism that matters, it is the discussion. As Sugata Mitra says, it is in the discussion where the learning happens. And I'll see you in the next video.